What's up, folks?
What's up, folks? How we doing?
Happy Monday, Billy Boy.
Happy Monday. But you know what the good thing about this is? We have a holiday weekend coming up.
Yes, I mean, unfortunately, I have to work on that said holiday, but it is a holiday weekend indeed, where we celebrate America's 250th birthday. And
Yes.
certainly a massive milestone for this country and its history. And, it gives us another reason to celebrate the red, white, and blue and all the
Yes.
great things about it. So we will
Yes.
continue our celebration of America 250 all week long on SIP and SIN.
Yes. But there is something very important going on this week, and the world needs to know this. Are you ready, Reg? Are
Mhm.
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce getting married this week? Is that happening?
Well, apparently a permit was filed at the Garden. Zoran Mamdani received that said party permit, whatever the heck they're calling it. Uh it's if it's this week, let's let it not overshadow the America 250 because that's way more important than Travis
Oh,
Kelce and Taylor Swift getting
oh, it
married.
is. It is. I was making a joke. But
You know?
I was making a joke about that, Reg. I hope you know that. But anyway,
Yeah.
Reggie, but the Reggie, you know what my theory is? I think this whole thing is a decoy. I think it's a decoy.
Well, not much has been said about this event, right?
They
So,
could just be saying it just to hype everything up. Okay, we got married on this beautiful beach in Costa Rica.
exactly. Or they went to Hawaii, whatever island, state slash
Six.
nation that they escaped to, and they're fooling the fans. And by the way, if the mayor of New York and MSG, if they're involved in that, like kudos, because
You know what? We should give
you're
them the
fooling
Nobel
half
Prize.
America.
Give them the Nobel Prize. If that's the case, then we give Mayor Mamdani and Commissioner Tish the Nobel Prize. You fooled us. Congratulations. Like, it's not like a damn it, they fooled us. It's like a whoa, they fooled us. Good for you
Yeah.
guys. And you were all in on it. Hey.
And also credit to Jim Dolan that that's the case because it is his building. So,
Wow, Dolan would win an NBA Finals and a Nobel Prize in the same year. What a year this guy's having.
oh my God.
Um,
Um, SIP on SIN. We're sponsored as always by the Dugout of Millwood. We
Thank you,
appreciate
Doug
you.
out of Millwood.
Thanks to Dugout of Millwood, and thanks to you for joining us on a Monday.
Yes. So, so we got a great show for you today. But isn't it always great, Reg?
Oh yeah, man. Sports is on. The Wimbledon
Uh,
Championship has started. Um, Football's a month away from entering its training camp phase.
yes, it
Um,
is.
Hopefully Geno Smith's bullshit can not be a part of that. Um, but yeah, no, it's a great time in sports. I know it's slow, but we have baseball, Bill.
Yes.
Just kind of sort of look forward to. At least not this past weekend, but we
Hey,
could we
great.
could let that slide. We could let that slide. You know, um, we're talking about the Yankees and Red Sox here,
Uh,
and what me and Bill thought would be a cakewalk when we first predicted this, um, back in May when we did our Bombers banter. We thought this would be obviously, playing in Boston's always hard, but we at least thought the Yanks would at least be competitive. You have to understand, when we said this, we thought that they would have a healthy Aaron Judge, which they don't. We thought they would have a healthy Trent Grisham, which they don't.
yes.
We knew Max Fried would be out, but they showed up to Boston and really laid one, Bill. This was
Oh
pretty rough
God.
to watch.
They got broomsticked.
Like,
They got broomsticked.
And of course, just as we got excited for June, the Yankees, they were like, what? They were cruising in June. They had like 11 wins, 10 wins, 11 wins in June. We were all excited and gung ho, and then they go on this horrible losing stretch. They lose games to the White Sox, they lose games to the Reds. They kind of sort of come back against the Tigers, and then they get swept by the Red Sox. You know, we're just as we were thought we were escaping the June swoon, it comes back to bite us in the ass again.
It does.
And now it's to a point where the Yankees are not even in first place in the AL East. And of
The
course, we
Rays
have
are in it,
plenty,
right?
yeah, and of course, we have plenty of ground in the wild card. But no, man, like it's rough to watch, and let's be honest, it is a product of the fact, it is a product of Yankees being hurt that is starting to catch up to them. You know, when we're giving credit to folks like Ben Rice and Cody Bellinger and Paul Goldschmidt for, being productive and scoring runs and everything, this happens.
Oh, absolutely. We give them credit for productivity, but you get broomsticked by your rival who has the worst record in the league, who have the worst record in the league. You have nothing to. This is not good. And our good friend John Haraska, I think, said it best. Shout out to Johnny. Um, why would you? Why would Boone leave the field, like bring in the field when you have a lefty coming up? Like, what sense does that make?
Are you talking about the final at bat? I mean,
Yes.
trying to prevent the run from coming in. You have to play the infield in. You can't play the infield back when it's a one out and the runner's at third. Like you gotta play in. So I don't mind that. The issue that I had, to be quite frank, is the fact that Bednar had come in and had done a tremendous job shutting down these Red Sox. He doesn't come back out for the 10th inning. They bring in Cruz. Cruz, who's done a decent job this year, actually hasn't been bad. I can't fault Fernando Cruz for having one bad outing, but why not go with the hot hand in Bednar? He's been in situations like this where he has to get multiple outs. So let him get multiple outs.
No,
Let him go
I
multiple
agree.
innings. You know, the Yankees got a lead in the 10th inning. Bring out your guy that you're supposed to be closing for us. Let him shut the door. So I didn't quite understand that. Um, I get, I again, you don't want to throw him out there too much, but at the same time, you know, if Mariano Rivera can go out for 3 innings in the playoffs, Bednar can go 2, 3 innings in a regular season game, a game that you have to win. You can't lose, especially after you come back in the game. You're down 2-0, getting no hit by Sonny Gray.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Sonny Gray, just listen, we got to give Sonny Gray his flowers. He pitched a hell of a
Yeah,
game last night.
he pitched well. Yankees could touch him.
Yankees could not touch him last night, except when he gave up
Yeah.
that hit. Then there went the neighborhood, Reg. There went the neighborhood.
Mm. Yeah.
Just, yeah, what a game. But what a what a weekend. And I don't mean that in a good way, friend.
A 4-game sweep sucks.
It
You know,
does.
like not even one game, not even one. Cam Schlittler actually had a pretty decent outing until the errors and the floodgates in that horrible, what was it, the fourth inning or the fifth inning, whatever the fuck it was.
In the
Um,
Friday night show.
It was
game
Thursday, I think. I think it was Thursday
Thursday.
where it canceled. It was the first game of the series.
Yes. Oh,
Um,
yes, yes, it was.
yeah, you know, like of course, look, losses happen, but you don't expect the Yankees to get swept in 4 games in a division against a division rival. That hurts big time, and it raises questions.
Now, it does raise questions. This team has been absolutely. This team this week just got sloshed. They got
Mhm.
absolutely their asses beat. You
You
lose a
know,
4 game set to the worst team in the division. Like,
mhm.
you're now questioning, like, okay, you have those moments when you question, okay, maybe things will get better when Freed comes back. Maybe things will be better when Judge comes back. But will they?
I don't know how productive Aaron Judge's gonna be. We ain't gonna see him till what, September?
Wait, till September? I was here until late July.
Is it gonna be till late July?
You know what? This is why the internet exists.
Like, isn't there's no exact return date right now. He has to do rehab. It can't be late July. He has to do rehab. It's gonna be August or September before he comes back.
Right now, there is no confirmed date, but the most credible projection for places Judge's return in late July to mid-August, depending on how his healing and rehab progress. So we could
But
be without
but
him
but
until
but
like till mid-August.
but but but, but again, that's just to play baseball again. That's just activities. That could be throwing activities, hitting activities.
What will Aaron Judge
Realistically,
be like when he's back?
re- realistically, you're talking September, Bill. That's the reality. So you mean tell me that we're gonna have to hopefully rely on, and look, Ben Rice has done a tremendous job this season. We're gonna have to rely on him. Trent Grisham hopefully comes back sometime this week or next week. Hopefully.
Keyword, hopefully.
It's Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger's done a nice job, but not nearly as productive as Aaron Judge can be. Paul Goldschmidt, yes, he's done a great job in June, but we can't rely on him to have continued success. We saw this last year with Paul Goldschmidt.
We
Started
did
off
see it,
tremendous.
and then he just went downhill.
I miss Judge.
I miss him too. So, you know what the thing is? It's scary because we don't know how this is gonna be from here on in. And I think when you get swept by the worst team in the AL East, and you know what, we'll talk about this more tomorrow on Bombers Banter. When you get swept by the worst team in the AL East, you're now wondering, holy shit, can we hold ground? And plus, there's still a lot to cover. Like, we still got a whole second half to go. We still got a whole second half to go. And, okay, sorry about that, Reggie. Um, but anyway, we still have a whole second half to go. But you're wondering, what is the rest of the season gonna look like, though? You know? You get what I'm saying?
It's rough, man. They're
Be
12 and
afraid.
12 in June. They are 12 and 12 in June. The
Yeah. So this has been
pitching hasn't looked good,
pitching's been terrible.
especially the bullpen. Bullpen can't do crap.
Correct. So yeah, um, things not looking good in the Bronx. We'll have more on that tomorrow on Bombers Banter.
Yeah. And
But
we'll continue to dissect the horrendous what started off promising, a promising June. We were very excited. No struggles this time around. Not so fast. The Yankees in
Okay,
June never fails.
and to you people, the wow, it's only no, no, we don't want to hear that anymore. We don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Do you want to hear it?
No, the
The
Yankees are who they are. They're going to be a team that, for the most part, will be great and struggle.
I don't want to hear the "it's only June" bullshit right now. That I what do I say? That excuse expired on Memorial Day. The "it's only insert month here." No, that excuse expired Memorial Day. So yeah. Dark times in the Bronx. We'll talk more about it tomorrow on Bombers Banter. But you know what? There was something in the Yankee Red Sox game last night. They NBC, because they were also showing the PGA Tour Travels Championship, due to a rain delay, and it had to go to a playoff. Like what happened was, okay, there was a rain delay. What happened is an NBC Sports spokesperson
Mhm.
made a decision with the PGA Tour and Major League Baseball to stick with the coverage of the tournament once it resumed at 7:20 p.m. until it finished or was suspended due to it getting dark.
Right.
Because there was a 90-minute delay yesterday.
Mhm.
And they didn't get to the Yankee Red Sox until the fourth inning. But if you had Peacock or what was it, the NBA Sports what?
It was NBC Sports Network. You remember the old days? They used to have this network called NBCSN. They used to show like hockey and shit.
Yeah.
They revived that for certain Peacock games, like and of course just Peacock sports stuff. Um, they revived it to show that so that you don't have to subscribe to Peacock for certain events if you don't want to. So that's where NBC placed the Yankee Red Sox game while they were showing the Travelers Championship on the regular main NBC channel. Here's what I say to that. Shame on you. Shame on
Well,
you.
we didn't miss much, so it can't be entirely bad.
And that's the funny part. When the Yankees Red Sox finally came on, the Red Sox got the first hit of the game, and of course that scored 2 runs. So really the first 3.5 innings, it was goose eggs and absolutely nothing coming from both the Red Sox and the Yankees. So Bill is right in the sense that we didn't miss much until we got to the coverage. But it is embarrassing that you have a PGA tournament that is not as important as so many of these majors out there. And I get that there's golf lovers out there, but you mean to tell me you couldn't continue that coverage? You could have continued that coverage on Peacock and allowed baseball to have its Sunday night coverage.
Like they could have just went like, okay, here's what's going on, and because we have our thing with Sunday night, because we have our deal with Sunday Night Baseball, we're gonna take you now. If you want to watch the rest of this tournament, go on Peacock or NBC Sports. We're now
Yes.
gonna take you to Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts for Sunday Night Baseball, the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. Take it
And
away,
and that's
guys.
the right move. The right
And
move is
like,
not to stick with the golf that's not important.
and like, listen, if it was like the Masters or something, then that would be because we've had instances like that where we remember 2 years ago it was like during the Masters it went into a playoff and they were supposed to be showing Billy Joel's 100th thing at Madison Square Garden that night, but it got pushed delayed because then 60 Minutes got delayed because of the Masters, and then they had to show Billy Joel, and they cut off the end, and people had a stroke about that, remember?
Yeah.
Like, I understand why that happened, but I think back then Billy Joel's people and CBS should have been in better communication and said, hey, that is the night of the Masters, of the final round of the Masters, and we're going to show it no matter what. Like, we don't care if it ends at 7 or if it goes till 2 in the morning. We're gonna we're gonna keep showing it. And in that situation, CBS should have offered Billy Joel's team should have at least tried to negotiate for another day to show it.
Right.
But that's this is a situation where if it was like the Masters or the US Open or the British Open, then okay, fine. But the PGA Tour Travelers Championship, no, they just should have went right to Boston and they said, "You want to watch the rest of this? Go watch it on Peacock." But that is like I'm sure I don't know if NBA, if the and PGA and NBC have a deal or something.
It doesn't matter, Bill. Like if it's not a game that's important, like and look, Sunday Night Baseball, you know, while we're in mid-season, Bill, this is Yankees Red Sox on national television. Yankees Red Sox on national television, to me, should have major priority over a golf tournament that's not as important. That's my point.
No, I agree. I think again, I said this once, I think they should have went and said, okay, we're now gonna go to Boston. You want to watch the rest of this tournament? Watch it on Peacock.
Yeah, they should have done that. They should have been like, no, we're sending golf to Peacock. But instead, they started baseball on Peacock. At the very least, NBC, they have so many different master control operations across the country, right? At the very least, in both the Boston and the New York markets, which are both have owned and operated um NBC stations. You would think that in those markets, at the very least, you would show the game.
It's
But they
like
didn't
they
even
could have
touch
compromised. Like the NBC
like
sports people were saying, okay, if you're in Boston or New York, we'll take it to the game.
not even putting it on the main NBC channel in Boston or New York. Like and again, like you however NBC wants to set up their priorities, we can debate that. But you have a Sunday night game, a division matchup, historic rivalry. And again, I know the Yankees Red Sox don't have as much juice as they used to, but it's still a rivalry that people care about. You know, and it's on Sunday Night Baseball. Put on Sunday Night Baseball at the very least in the New York and Boston markets
Yeah,
where
they
you
could have done
do
that. They could have
where you
said
do have owned and operated stations owned by
they could have
NBC.
they could have just said, okay, if you are in the New York or Boston area, we are now going to take you to Fenway Park for Sunday Night Baseball. If not, you will you're staying with us. But if you're in the New York Boston area, we're taking you to Fenway Park. But yeah, no, I think this was a stupid move by NBC. And like, I have a question. Um, NBC has Sunday Night Baseball,
Correct.
and then starting in the fall, they're gonna have, as they always do, they're gonna have Sunday Night Football.
Baseball's gonna be on Peacock.
So that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna put baseball on Peacock,
Yes,
so it won't conflict with Sunday Night Football.
correct.
So yeah, but this was a stupid move by NBC. They should have just went to Boston, put golf on Peacock, or at the very least, they could have just said the New York, Boston areas, we're taking you to Fenway. If you're not, we're staying here.
Well, the local, I mean, NBC doesn't have to announce that. The local stations can just announce it. You
Yeah.
know, it's NBC's station. They could do whatever they want. I
So
just think it's a shame
his
that you know that you can't for somehow, especially if you're in New York and Boston. How do you not watch that game on the main channel? How do you make
I
people
think
go
it's
on to Peacock?
weird that NBC prioritized a golf tournament that five people watch. Sorry, Dad. That five people watch. That you're prioritizing that over a Yankee Red Sox game.
It makes no sense.
On what planet, Reggie, does this make sense on?
No, no, it's dumb.
Oh, the biggest rivalry in baseball. Oh, but a golf
Because
tournament that five people watch. Ooh, which one?
because because you know that would never happen with Sunday Night Football.
Oh,
Tell me,
hell no.
tell me, tell me that happens with Sunday Night Football.
No, they would be. No, if
Fans
the
would be livid.
PGA people were on the phone with NBC Sports and they said, "You're going to show the rest of us," and NBC Sports would probably say, "No, fuck you. We're going right to football."
And it also brings up the question, um, how much do these networks actually care about baseball?
I was actually going to have to ask that, Reggie. Two great minds think alike. That's why we're partners. Two great
Because
minds think alike. If this was
baseball,
the
yeah, go ahead.
if this was the NFL or if this was the NBA, they would, okay, maybe more NFL, but if this was the NFL, maybe the NBA, they would drop everything
Hmm.
and they would say, "No, we're going to Kansas City. We're going to Foxborough. We're going to New York." No, if the NBC goes, "You're going to show the rest of us," they go, "No, you can go fuck yourself. We're going right to Sunday Night Football. And if you don't like it, you can go kick rocks."
Like, and look, we're talking about how baseball is gaining such momentum on the media side of things. We had one of the most watched World Series ever, this past season. Um, Stars are out there, Shohei killing it. Like everything about baseball has gotten such good momentum. Games are much shorter. The product is more fun to watch. It's just a reminder this whole NBC mishap, which I think NBC they need to own up to it. They need to say something about this and say, hey, look, this isn't okay. It's just a reminder. Baseball, so close, yet so far. Not quite there.
Yeah, so shame on NBC. This was absolutely ridiculous. Shame! Ding! Shame! No, no. You go to the game. Again, if this was Sunday Night Football, NBC, if PJ said, "You're going to show the rest of this," they would tell them to go kick rocks. They would tell them to go kick rocks. But congratulations to Scotty Scheffler, who won this morning. Well, congrats to him.
Yeah.
But still, come on, NBC, do better. Yeah, so that's on that remark. Now, brief World Cup update. The we got today. We got Brazil playing Japan at 1 o'clock in
Yep.
Houston. We got Germany playing Paraguay in 4:30 in Gillette.
Yep.
And we got Netherlands playing Morocco at 9 in Guadalupe, Mexico. And then the US will be playing Wednesday night, 8 o'clock in Santa Clara, not San Francisco, Reg, Santa Clara.
Yeah.
So yeah, go yeah, so right now the
Yeah.
stand-ins.
Yeah. This is the round of 32 we're in right now in the bracket.
Yes.
Um,
US
we
is in first
officially
place.
Well, I don't think it matters. They won the group. They won Group
Yeah.
D. Yeah. So we're in the knockout stages. Um, group winners, Mexico, they won Group A. Switzerland won Group B. Group C, Brazil won. We talked about the U.S. They won Group D.
They will be playing Wednesday night against Bosnia Herzog, Herzegovina, whatever it is.
Yeah. I just say Bosnia. But yeah,
They're playing Bosnia.
yeah.
So yeah, go Team USA. That's what we got to say about this one. Yeah, so I'm not too energetic about this. I don't really watch soccer, so
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been kind of into the World Cup. It's been a lot of fun to watch. I know Saturday I was at Hooters when Argentina was playing their last group stage game. I saw
Reggie at Hooters.
exactly, and I saw Leo Messi um on a free kick, score a tremendous goal. Of course, Messi's one of the greats out there. Like he's tremendous and everything. So I saw that. I saw a nail biter um between I think it was Austria and I believe Algeria, if I'm not mistaken. Um they those two were going at it in their final group stage game. And it's funny because I think Algeria had scored to take the lead, which would have knocked Austria out if that result had held, and Iran would have advanced to the knockout stage. But then I think Austria they scored. If I'm butchering this, I apologize. They scored to tie the game again, and then the game ended in a draw. Austria was able to move on. So this was like within like the final like minute or so left in the match. So it was a tremendous World Cup stuff to watch. Uh, I know Turkey, which was formerly known as Turkey, they beat the United States in their final group stage game, which was annoying because I want the US to win and stuff. So World Cup's been fun so far. And then of course Canada, congrats to them. They finally make it to the knockout stages and they win their first knockout stage game. They will head to the round of 16. So keep an eye out for Canada. Good stuff.
Hey, keep your eye out for Canada. How? Hey, Reg, how about that, eh? How about that, eh? Um,
Right.
if we have any Canadian listeners who are insulted by that, first of all, early Happy Canada Day, which is Wednesday, so Happy Canada
Mhm.
Day, and
Yep.
also sorry to that. I say sorry about that. Oh, I
Fine.
am now banned from Canada, aren't I? Um,
Jesus. Okay.
Mark Carney, you're still a badass, so you're cool. We like you.
Mhm. All right. A little bit of football here. Not much going on in terms of the football world, since everyone's on break at this point. But the Buffalo Bills, however, have been making headlines lately. Um,
Yes.
First things first, congratulations to Buffalo, Western New York, uh, Governor Kathy Hochul, and all of Bill's Mafia. You finally have your new stadium that Bill paid for with his taxes. So he should go to that game, those games for free. You
Good. And my name's Bill.
know.
So I
Um,
should be able to go there for free. The tax paid for this.
exactly. Um, But the Buffalo Bills opened up Highmark Stadium. If you look at that stadium, Bill, first things first, I feel horrible for fans that are going to be priced out because of the higher prices of this new stadium. Um, but it's a gorgeous looking stadium, dude. Like it's a very intimate. It feels very intimate based on how you look at it on pictures, and um, it's very colorful. there's not a bad seat in the house. Apparently, the sound is going to be tremendous. Like everything about that stadium speaks Buffalo to me. So I'm really happy for Bills fans.
Yes, so I'm looking at it right now, the new Highmark Stadium. Yeah, it looks really nice, and I think Buffalo is getting a good deal here. They're getting a good stadium, but they're going to get priced out, unfortunately. But now
I,
something
I
has to
think
be.
that I think that before you get to that story, I do apologize. $700 for the cheapest seat. Like
Oh, that's insane.
how outrageous is that?
And
Like,
we
come on
thought the
now.
Knicks were expensive.
Come on. Like, are we serious? Anyways, continue. I'm sorry. I just had to say that. That was bullshit.
And yeah, it's $2.1 billion that stadium now. All right. Now, this is something we've sort of been talking about for the last 2 years. But the Buffalo Bills are having their Hall of Fame, and they will be ex and of all their players, and you know who will be there? You know who will be excluded? Orenthal James Simpson.
Yeah.
So, because of obvious reasons, very obvious reasons, Reggie, is Buffalo making the right decision? Yes or no?
I understand why they're doing it. Look, for being real, ever since the Pagulas took over, they've made it pretty clear that they are slowly moving away from having any type of relationship with OJ Simpson and his family and everything. Um, Obviously, you can't ignore franchise records. Like
You can.
and he holds that in terms of like all the running statistics and all that. Um, and you also can't ignore the fact that he's in the Hall of Fame, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which the Pro Football Hall of Fame still hasn't been there. Um, so it's just strange because you have to understand prior to all of his legal battles and obviously the high uh publicized case back in the 90s with the alleged killing of his wife and of course her friend Ron Goldman. Um like prior to that, OJ was revered as one of the greats in football history.
Yes.
You can't change history. You leaving OJ Simpson off the wall of fame in Buffalo doesn't change franchise history. It doesn't change football history. So I get why the Pagulas want to start distancing themselves from OJ Simpson, but you can't. It's impossible. He was part of the fabric of Buffalo for so many years. So I don't know if I'll say this. I just don't think it's the right decision to make. But I get it. But it's just dumb because why can't you separate? And I know it's hard to do so because of his legal battle, because he's not a good guy. Um, but why can't you just separate the football from the off the field stuff?
I, I'm kind of in the same boat here. Like, on one hand, no, I understand because OJ Simpson, mm, mm.
It's a troubled history, dude.
But like what do I always say, Reg? I always say you gotta separate the art from the artist.
Yeah.
You gotta separate the player from the person. And OJ, who has NFL records, I'm sorry. I think, and this is a like, while I understand why the Padulas are doing it, I understand. But at the same time, Reggie, I would say put him in the Hall of Fame. Put him in the Buffalo. He's still in Canton. He's still in Canton. And like, listen,
And
that doesn't mean he's a listen. Just because we put them in the and give them these accolades, we're not rewarding them for being a good person. We're rewarding them for being a good player. And like, listen,
yeah,
just because I think he should be recognized for his talent, I'm not saying he's a good. I am. I want to get. I want to make something abundantly clear here. Just because I'm recognizing his talent and praising his talent does not mean I think he's a good person. He wasn't. He was not a good person. But I'm sorry, you can't erase history. And what are we gonna put? Are we gonna scrap his franchise records? Are we gonna put asterisks next to it? And like,
you
listen,
can't.
exactly. Like with ball players or, music artists, for example, you know how many songs I would have to delete from my iTunes library because the artist was a terrible person? A lot. I think, listen, while I understand, but and we had this conversation right after OJ died. We had this conversation right after he died, and but I feel like ever since after he passed away, I feel like in some ways they are trying to erase him. Because if you remember, at first it was in the BET Awards where they mentioned OJ in memoriam. The
Right.
Goldmans, and listen, I don't want to attack the Goldmans because they lost their son, and I'm sure it still hurts to this day.
Yeah.
But they like went out on social media and slammed BET for that. Why are you honoring him? And then like after that, like every other awards show, the ESPYs, NFL honors, they followed suit and didn't put OJ in the in memoriam. And
I,
go ahead.
I just think that the contributions he made to the game of football is something you can't just take away just because you feel like it. Ralph Wilson, the longtime owner of the Bills, obviously, he passed away. I think it's been like 12, 13 years now. Um, he had multiple chances to erase OJ Simpson from Buffalo's franchise history. Multiple chances to do it. And he didn't. He didn't even take his name down off the Bills Hall of Fame, whatever the heck you want to call it, for a reason, because he made contributions to the franchise.
He did.
And I think, and look, I don't know how Buffalo fans truly feel about this, but I would bet that there are a lot of Buffalo fans that even though later on in his life, OJ Simpson became an asshole and became this madman, I would think that there are a lot of Buffalo fans that watched OJ Simpson, looked up to him, and appreciated what he did for that franchise. Food for thought.
Reggie, dude, I agree. I agree. I believe that, Ralph Wilson, he left OJ named up because he probably realized, yeah, OJ was a shitty person. But at the end of the day, he made contributions to the game. He made contributions to the franchise, and we can't just ignore him.
Yeah.
And we just can't ignore it. And like it didn't happen. So I think how much you want to bet though the Goldmans had something to do with this?
I don't know what. No, I don't know if I agree with that. I think this is just because the Pagulas, they seem very liberal, right? And stuff.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but they seem like people that only want to honor those that do good for the franchise, those that serve in a capacity that you know really means much more to the community. So if you're not really with us, then we're not gonna care about you. That's sort of how they are. So no, I don't think the Goldman family uh, or the family of Nicole Brown Simpson. I don't think they had anything to do with it. You know, um,
Thinking they might
I
have, but I don't have any evidence.
I just don't I don't think they would go that far, especially now that he's dead. Like, both families got what they wanted. They're you know never to be seen again and everything.
But we can't
I
erase OJ from history. We can't.
no
And I think I can see Ralph Wilson because I'm sure Ralph Wilson, he's owned that team for quite some time. So he probably knew OJ personally, and he was probably thinking, yeah, you know what? He was a garbage human being, but
yeah
you gotta call a spade here. Like this guy was a phenomenal player, and he's like, we're not giving him a humanitarian award here. We're giving him an award because of his football.
yeah.
And this isn't the Baseball Hall of Fame, where what do I always say, Reg? To get into the Baseball Hall of Fame, there is a character clause. You have to make Mr. Rogers look like freaking Ted Bundy.
Yeah, you have to treat the media like they're royalty and serve them plates on a massive gold platter,
Yeah,
like
you have to make Mr. Rogers look like Ted Bundy to get into the Hall of Fame. So, yeah, but the Football Hall of Fame, all you got to do is have a pulse and be good at the game.
uh, it's true.
So, I think right now, I think the Pagulas are not doing the right thing. I think they need to, and I can see why they're saying, okay, we got to take a step back from this. But you know what? I'm sorry. He still has a lot of your franchise records. You can't exclude him. I think he should be in the football, in the Bills Hall of Fame. And listen, again, I'm going to repeat myself. Just because we're acknowledging this person's performance and his talent, that does not mean we're praising him as a person. We can admit he had some character flaws, and that's putting it lightly. Am I right? That's putting it
Mm,
very mildly, character flaws. But dude,
yeah.
putting we could put it but we have to be fair and acknowledge him for his great performance. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the matter. Buffalo, enjoy your new stadium, but Pagulas, I would highly say you should think about this.
Reconsider it. Like, it wasn't always bad with those. Um, sticking with football for a little bit. Um, we do have really rough news to share. And I mean, I just can't believe this. When I woke up this morning and I saw this going on my socials, like I was stunned to find out that longtime running back Chris Johnson, the many years he had with Tennessee Titans and all that stuff, that he has ALS. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, earlier today, he said there was an interview, sit down interview with Michael Strahan on Good Morning America, where Chris Johnson revealed at 39 years old that he was diagnosed with uh, ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, um, which of course, at this point we all know is just a debilitating, horrific, uh, central nervous system type disease that just absolutely kills your ability to do anything, walk, talk, breathe. Um,
And like,
and
listen, apparently he his whatever type of form of ALS he has progressed quickly.
yeah, I think it's sporadic. I think it's called ALS, which is the most common type of ALS. And of course, as you know, it's a death sentence. Minimum 3 to 5 years after symptoms. And of course, you can have, lifelongers like Stephen Hawking and Gleason. You know,
No, I listen, but I always have said, and I repeat this fact every time. It was a few years ago. I was on Lou Gehrig Day, and Michael K had this guy on from some ALS foundation, and he
right?
said someone who was diagnosed with ALS today would have the same prognosis that Lou Gehrig did in 1939.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's necessarily true because Stephen Hawking, like we just brought up Stephen Hawkins, he's had it for before he passed away, he had it for like 20, 30 years. Um, Steve Gleason, he's had it for how long has he had it?
It's got to be at least 15 years,
He's
right?
had it for at least 15 years.
Like,
Like Lou Gehrig was diagnosed in 1939. He died in 1941. So either he had it for years and didn't know about it, because people were starting to speculate with Lou Gehrig like in 37, 38 that there was something up. But I but nah. But Chris Johnson, he already can't talk.
isn't that wild though? Like he's using, I think his face to use a computer device that allows him to, um, then speak, which is just wild to see. I mean, it's in his voice, which thank God for technology, of course, AI, for doing that. But just to see that he's already progressed to a point where he can't even speak is rough, man. And my thoughts and prayers out to him and his family. I'm sure that this um is a rough time for them. And I know that he's fighting. He said he's going to continue fighting, but just rough to see that happen. Apparently, he just noticed weakness in his hand. Wasn't what trying to work out wasn't as strong as he thought he was. Thought it was just a pinched nerve, whatever.
Yeah, it goes from pinched nerve to holy shit, I have ALS.
It's wild how your life can just flash in a nanosecond and everything changes.
Yeah, so our condolences go out to our thoughts and prayers are with Chris Jackson's family right now. It
You
is
know,
terrible, horrible.
yeah, the and of course one part of the interview that I just love from Chris Johnson is him letting people know that he is still who he is. He says in quote, "I want people to know I am still me. ALS has changed what my body can do, but it hasn't changed who I am," which is such
Amen.
a such an inspiring thing um to say when you have a terminal disease. Just horrible. Um horrible disease. But great words of encouragement. And we'll fight with him. He has a whole NFL community. Already players coming out, um, sending love and prayers and heart emojis, prayer emojis, all that stuff. It's um, you know, it, just a rough thing to see. So sending love to him.
Absolutely. Our condolences
Yeah.
go to his family right now. We wish him the best. All right. Anything else? Oh, Chris Johnson, not Chris.
Uh,
I don't know why I called him Jackson.
yeah, it's fine. Um, uh, Even though that's such a heartbreaking story, it was on a positive because we are still supporting Johnson in his fight to beat this disease. And we hope you keep supporting us as well.
Please support us. We're cool. We promise. Yeah.
You can like this video and all of our
Like,
videos.
subscribe, hit that bell. Helps us in the algorithm. And
Hmm.
go to www.thesportssocietynetwork.com. Check out our blogs. Check out our podcast available on all platforms. And check us out here on YouTube. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing a Bombers banter. So check that out. Well, we have a lot to say, don't we, Reg?
Yeah, we got a lot more. We'll dissect more of the Yankees. Well, again, very promising. Turned into a disaster real quick. Um, um, SIP on SIN. We appreciate you. We love you. And we thank you. 76 subscribers, baby.
Let's
Like
go. Come on, let's
let's bring
go.
it let's bring this up a little bit. Why not?
Let's bring it
On our way
up.
to 100. On our
Let's
way to
do it. Let's
100.
freaking do it.
You know?
All right.
Um,
So from Bill Corpus for Danny Boy Reginald, I'm Bill Corpus Crispy Murphy. Stay safe and take care.
Peace and love. And thank you to Dugout Millwood as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark Halpern.